Alright, hey guys. Okay, so this week we are going to test out oil pastels. I typically have not been a fan of pastels from the one time I think I done them in like grade school. But I just don't like the texture of them that much and the messiness of them. But since I've last tried them, it's been so long and I feel like I'm a way better and have a lot more techniques under my belt of an artist, so I think I can work with them and make something really cool because I really do like the texture they create. So we're gonna start with making some swatches, but I'm gonna show the things I'm gonna be using right now and my plan. So I want to put some swatches on 2 different paper. I have some watercolor paper, so we can get that. You want to use something with more grit or tooth with it, and watercolor provides that. This is more mixed media water paper. It doesn't have a strong grit to it because I'm not a big fan of that, but I think I have another pad somewhere, so I might look into that because I would like a little bit more grit to compare it. I could even do like a couple other ones too in addition, and then I really want to try it on black paper. So I have another Kansan, the black paper, and this is just drawing paper, so I don't know how that's gonna go. But the thing about oil is oil pastels never dry, so I will have to get a sealant. I have one and I'm not sure if it works for oils or not, so I will have to check that. But let's get started and bring the camera down and we'll open the pastels together. So I'll see you in a bit. Okay, so here's we'll move these for now. Here are the oil pastels I have. They're from Michael's, the Artist Loft. I think I got them for about $13 when I got them. So not too bad as far as art supplies go. I'm a little worried because I kind of put a little bit of weight, my whole body, briefly on them. So I'm a little worried that some of them might be broken, but it's alright. Ooh, okay, and it's 36 colors, which I was quite... Are you like... Oh, maybe I wasn't supposed to take that off. I don't think I was. I think that's kind of there for... Okay, we'll leave that. Leave that there. Okay, but yeah, there are 36 colors, and this is kind of the range we got going, which I think it's actually a really good range considering there's not too many colors that look identical. There's a couple, like the browns here are a little bit similar. I would have liked a little bit more of maybe a red brown or a darker brown. A darker brown would have been nice, like a chocolate brown, because this is not really a chocolate brown. But I really like the green amount of greens they give, because green's a really hard color and you need it a lot in nature. And there's just so many variations of green, so I really like that. And then they give quite a good range of yellows and a good skin tone color, so that's actually, I'm excited about that. So I'm most looking forward to testing them on the black paper, but I think I'm gonna try that last. So what are oil pastels? They are a finely ground pigment mixed with non-drying oil and a wax binder. They were originally made for children to be a better like craft for them, but who was it? Pablo Picasso really liked them, and he kind of popularized them to be used more for professional artist grade. They were originally invented in 1925 in Japan. And so they're, all things considered, is still pretty relatively new art supply. There are a lot of different techniques that can be used with oil pastels. They can be mixed, layered, thinned with turpentine or mineral spirits, and they all achieve different effects. I just did blending with my finger and with a Q-tip in this video, but I'm going to be exploring it a lot more moving forward. Because I have quite a few different ideas that I want to try out for this media. But yeah, I plan to do a couple of little drawings on each of these different papers, and then I want to try them on a canvas actually. Wood would also be really cool, I think I do have another wood board downstairs, so I could try that, which would be fun. But I'm definitely gonna make something within the Book of Life series. We're gonna make like a landscape with, I believe I want to make the traveling shop boat thing. Okay, the differences I noticed between the two different papers was the drawing paper, which was the black paper, kind of the oil just really like seeped in and it didn't really stay on the surface, so it was a lot harder to blend it. It's still possible, and I really like how it showed up on the black paper, and it gives it a different texture, so I think it's really just kind of preference on it. But I am glad I tested it out on both, and it will be fun to explore a drawing for both papers. But I think if I had to choose one that I prefer, it's the watercolor paper. But I want to continue trying it on other media, and like the canvas I want to try for the big final piece. I think it would be cool to do it on wood to see how that takes. But I don't know. And then even starting to explore using other combinations of it, because you can use mineral spirits with it, and I have some of those. So it would be fun to kind of explore that. But here I'm blending. I start with colors of the same hue, and then I go with two contrasting ones. So it's the red and the blue there, where they're opposite ends of the wheel, so it's harder to get there. Although they work pretty well because they're primary colors. But anyways, and then here I am testing it out on the white paper now. And the blending was a lot easier. It just is smoother. Like, you can already tell there with how much of a better blend it got with just once over, where on the black paper I had to do it a few times. So I tried different colors too on this paper just to see like across palette wise. And here's the pink to gold, and like there, it just almost does it instantly versus like here, now I compare it again. It kind of, I don't know, it just doesn't do it quite as well, and that middle color just isn't as smooth. So yeah. Okay, so I'm outside. Hopefully you can hear this. It's a bit windy right now. Oh gosh, this is gonna be hard. Okay, maybe I can't do this inside right now. But I want to spray these, but I don't want to do it inside because I don't want it to smell so bad. We got this one. I hope it works. Said it should. Dog bark. Oh, I want that on there. I think I got it on there. So we'll check back. Not gonna leave these out here, but I'll check back here in a bit to see how they look and if they're dry or not. So yeah. So in this video, I wanted to show a little bit more of the process of how the idea kind of starts to what it kind of ends up being and the journey it goes through. And how it's really like not from point A to point B that you would think it is. It's more like point A to dot to triangle to somehow we ended up at B. And so I think the Millinote board really goes to show where I have like a gesture on there. I have a boat picture. I have the dragon in the very beginning. We have this like Wonderland kind of Wizard of Oz kind of theme, Starry Night, neon lights, and we ended up with a robot building. So yeah, it just kind of shows just how the design process fluctuates. All right, so I started out with drawing a lantern, and this is just kind of a warm-up here. I didn't end up going with the lantern at all, but fun to draw. And so then I get on to the idea of doing like a building of some sort. So I start with this triangle dome kind of building shape-esque thing where I test out different like styles of dome. And it kind of expands where then I get out more of that Japanese, it's pagoda style house where it's got the curved edges on it. So I add that into it, and add some shading there with it. But yeah, I take inspiration from these stickers that I put in my journal. The left one is the Russian St. Basileus Cathedral, and the tops of those are actually called the Onion Dome. So I learned that, which was cool. But yeah, so this building I really flesh out actually in here. Add some more detail to it, just finish it up, add some brick there. But Victorian, Japanese, and Russian influence. So quite a lot of different cultures I drew from for that building. And then I get stuck for a little bit, and I spend way too long drawing a square, rectangle. This one took forever to draw. Here's a picture I found of one boathouse. And then the island city is floating, so I took the idea of a floating flying ship, did that, added a hot air balloon to it. I don't end up going with this idea either, but I want to explore it more later on, but I don't know if it's going to really work for this media. I think I want it too detailed for this one to work very well. So then I get stuck again, but I go back to the clock, or the building, and I make it a clock tower now, which I really like the idea of it as a clock tower. And I use the Roman numerals since that's what was more common in Victorian era, so taking inspiration from that still. And then I design a house, but it's Aether's the main character's traveling bookshelf, where it's a library front on the corner of an alleyway. So I sketched that out. But in the end, I ultimately go with the clock tower, and here's that. Okay, so my thoughts on the pastels. I did really like the feel of them in my hands and when they went down on the paper, and I did have a lot of fun just coloring with them. You can't get a lot of detail with them in general, so it relieved a lot of the pressure I had of trying to make it so intricate and grand. But name your colors. I don't know. I just like having the names, and it helps with organizing them, I think. I don't know. Just name your colors. And then I was not a big fan of the tray that they came in. But I think this is a pretty standard, industry thing where I just had a really hard time grabbing them without, getting the pigment all over my hands and the other crayons. And so I don't know what a solution to this is, but I'm just not a fan of the standard storage container for oil pastels, I guess. But I am going to keep working with them because I do really like the vibrancy, and there is a pretty versatile range for $13 for 36 colors. But the next video, I'm going to be exploring a drawing on black paper, and for that we're going to be exploring a mystical forest that the hermit of our story lives in. And so you can look forward to that. I'm not sure when I'm going to get to that, but if this video gets enough views, we can look forward to seeing that. So remember to comment, share if you enjoyed this video. But thanks for watching, and this has been our robot tower for chaotically creating. Bye.